Heaven Hi, everybody. Woo! Welcome to another episode of Heaven High Podcast. First, I'd like to thank all of you for your support. Hasn't it been great? I mean, I have grown so much and learned so much just speaking to our guests. Have you evolved in the same way? If you have, tell me something right below, something that you have learned while watching the podcast, because everybody is sharing so that they can bless somebody. That's what it's about. It's about blessing somebody in some kind of way. My next guest was referred to me by one of my first guests, Betty. I'm really excited about him. He has not had a near death experience, but he has had a lot of amazing, beyond the physical experiences that he'll be able to share with us today. He is a spiritual rapper and he is a teacher of peace. So here he comes bringing the love. May I introduce to you Mr. JClay. Heaven Hi JClay.
Heaven
Thank
high.
you for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I love that you say heaven high. I love that so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you ask why I said heaven high. I
Yeah.
love that you pay attention to words.
Yeah, because like the hello sounds like hell and low, and it's like we should be up, we should be high, we should be in heaven, heaven high.
Yes,
Yes,
lifting people up. You're a
yes,
spiritual rapper. Do you write your own lyrics?
yes, I do.
And do you what do you write about? Tell me some of your lyrics.
Yeah, so I write about I try to help people learn spiritual truths through songs. So it's about some of the conflicting thoughts we may have, just things that we don't even recognize on the surface, that we repeatedly say to each other. Like you said, word choice is paramount, and we have a lot of sayings that are geared toward death or attack. Like, I have to hit my target. I gotta. You missed the mark. Kill
Oh,
two birds with one stone. I'm gonna kill this verse. I'm a, like all this kind of stuff. So yeah.
right, you're right. So you're not gonna I want to hear some lyrics.
You want to hear me say some stuff? Okay. Put me on the spot. Okay. You were born perfect, then it shifted because somebody more important said that you're different. Why are they more important? Why you listen? How could you imagine what you isn't? Because if you are, I lost the thought. But yeah,
No,
it's
but I
just
love it. I 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 used to rap. Not
ah,
like
might
you. I used to
might
try to
have to
rap.
get you on the track.
You have to get me on the track. Yeah. And it's so funny because I was rapping before I knew who I was, but I was still saying things or writing things that, well, we'll talk about my rap career later, but I was writing things that now I can see I was coming in this direction. But tell me about some of your experiences.
Yeah, so like spiritual, like paranormal experiences, or just healing experience.
I want to hear them all. Let's start with the paranormal.
Okay, so I had an instance where it's hard to describe what happened or what I felt. I was laying in bed, and normally before I go to sleep, I just let everything go. I completely relax. I'm in a state of gratitude, but I just let go of the whole day. And this particular time, I was just laying there. I think my mind wandered. It was wandering into dreamland, and I got this feeling that started in my head, but then it went all over my body, and it was the most intense feeling I've ever felt. And I was questioning it, like what is this? I don't want to move because I don't want to mess this up. And at the same time, I wanted it to keep going. And so what I pictured in my mind, like it kind of felt like maybe angels or something were all surrounding me, laying hands on me. But again, I was laying on my stomach, so I couldn't see behind me. But I didn't want to check. And at the same time, I got a little scared, but the feeling felt so good that I was like, nah, like fear is going to make it go away. If I was to die right now and this is what eternity feels like, I'm fine with it. Like I let everything go. I I was fine with just transitioning to what the next state was. But I just laid there as long as I could. Maybe 5 to 10 minutes later, it just dissipated. And then and that was it. Like I have that beautiful memory. But yeah, it was an amazing feeling.
So while you were telling the story, when you started, there was a feeling that washed over me. It
Yeah.
was like and I got chills and it washed over my body, a really good feeling, which to me is a confirmation that that was one of your angels with you. That's
Wow.
what that
Yeah.
is. And I love that you said you didn't want to look back. Like there was something innate in you that knew, don't look back. And I love that you said you didn't want to be afraid because you knew fear was going to make it go away.
Yeah.
Life lessons. Ooh. Now, has that affected your life? Has that made make any different choice in your everyday life? Has that made you feel what did you learn from that experience other than
Yeah. Well, what I learned, what I think I learned at least, is that just that feeling of bliss. Like when you in the spiritual realm, you hear about this blissful feeling that is just is so intense you can't describe it. And that was something I've never experienced before. I couldn't describe. So it was more like confirmation to just keep going down the path that I'm going. So like I practice letting go a lot. Anything that comes up, I try to look at it with love, no matter the situation. Sometimes there's some situations that it's like, I don't want to look at this with love, but it's the path that I'm on and I'm loving the effects of it. So it was nothing more than really a confirmation.
I love that though. I love all the little messages that you have in here. Letting go. When you go to bed, letting it go, everything that happened during the day. It's nice to do this podcast because I get a constant reminder of a lot of the things that I need to remember, because like you say, sometimes it's hard to let go. Okay, tell me what else, JClay. Tell me what else.
So okay, well, recently I had a dream that seemed too real, like this actually happened, and this was I want to say 2 weeks ago, so it's fresh in my mind. I can talk about it. It's the first time I talk about it publicly. So I'm doing an activation right now. I'm in a group of there's 4 of us. We're doing an activation. We're all kind of new to this. Like even the one leading it, Andona, she's speaking light language and even though she's speaking it and leading it, she's also a participant, so that's pretty cool. So I preface this to say like this is what could have prompted this dream that happened. So I'm in my dream and I'm somewhere overseas, somewhere having fun playing in the fields, and then it was like some government entities or somebody called me and everyone in, but they separated, and they wanted to question them. And they had the questioner guy, but they also had another guy who was administering something. So they had us have our pants off, but it was our underwear on. And they put a contraption like near my genitals. And I was like, this is weird. Maybe this is some kind of intimidation, but no fear. So I'm gonna be truthful anyway, no matter how it comes out, whatever the consequences, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be truthful. So then next thing you know, I was nice. I was cordial to the people that were administering the test. They were nice back. I was leading with love and I felt that back. But next thing you know, I was in captivity. I wasn't in like a jail, but I was it was a small room that had a twin bed. It had a toilet and a sink. And I was kind of serving the people that were there. Like we lived together, but they had on nicer clothes than we did. We had on like scrubs, me and the other captive people. And we were serving them, just kind of doing what they said. They kind of looked down on us, talked down to us, but it was cool. It's like, doesn't matter. I'm leading with love. But in the back of my mind, I know I'm getting out of here. I don't know how yet. I just know I'm going to get out of it. So then some time passed in my dream. I get back home and I was like, okay, I'm home. I got to call my mom because she's always worried that I don't call her when I get back from a trip because something might happen. Something actually happened this time. So I called, but I got no resistance from her. Her and my sister said, we saw it on the news. And I'm like, what? Like how big was this thing that just happened? And so I was just like, okay, that's weird. So next thing you know, I went to a party. Oh, no, take that back. I started finding out people calling me that everybody was trying to call in favors to kind of get me back over home. And so then I went to a party. The party was in my honor, which is weird because I'm not one to just like I like to just live every day as a party, but I never had one like you have to honor me or anything. But in my dream, everyone was so happy to see me and they were giving me gifts. Now, these gifts were things that to me didn't mean anything, but I could tell to them it meant the world. And the fact that they were giving it to me, like it was like I was trying to hold back tears in my dream. I couldn't. I never felt like love that pure and so strong like that. And so what happened next? So yeah, they're giving me these gifts, but then I felt something like in the roof of my mouth. And so I pulled it. I started pulling, and it was like a long string. It just kept pulling. And when I was pulling it, it was like my memories were returning about what just happened. So like it was like I blocked out maybe the bad stuff they did to me. I escaped somehow. I probably used the string to, I don't know, do something, but I realized I was there for years, like for a long time, but this is still in this dream. And then it just started hitting me. But at the same time, I was in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm pulling this out of my mouth. All my guests at this party are going to think this is nasty, this is gross. But what happened was like everybody kind of came to my aid and was holding the burden of like everything that was coming out. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like I lost it. Like I woke up, but I was sobbing. Like I've never woken up sobbing before, like ever in life. And for the next 15 minutes, I was just like, what is going on? What is happening? This is crazy. But what I take from it was a love I never felt. Like it was a very strong love. And I was very grateful to be home. Like I've never been more grateful than anything, but it was just like, I made it, I'm here. And it was just very intense. So it was more than a dream. It was like I was actually there, but I can't. But it's like I wasn't there because it was a dream. Yeah.
No, it's like it were, and it's like released a lot of, I don't know, it could have even been past life trauma.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Was amazing. All the love. It was on the news, it was broadcast. Tell me about activation.
So the activation, actually, let me say one thing about the dream that I just remembered. I found this out when I was telling someone else. When I was in the fields playing, everyone was wearing all white. When I was in captivity in my scrubs, I had on all white. The people had on all white, but it was nice. At the party, it was an all white party. And that just got me thinking, like, was this some kind of equivalent to heaven? Because you hear all white in heaven and all that. But yeah, okay. So
I imagine that's why I want to know about the activation, because I want to see in my mind how it compares with the dream.
Yeah. So
go ahead, tell me. All white, and you
all right. So
didn't
the
have any
activation.
fear. You didn't have any fear either. Whatever
Yeah.
it is that you're called to, you really have to do it. I mean, like you have to do it, and you cannot be afraid of any kind of persecution. Like you got to be bold and brave and listen and act. Okay, go ahead. Activation.
And trust. So yeah, the activation is ongoing. So like I think they call it song 3. So essentially Andona, she got these light codes and they're kind of in image. And so like every day we'll do a meditation where we hold our hand over the image, we hold our right hand over our heart, and we kind of go in and we listen to the light language, the word of the day. But each day they're doing something different. It could be clearing our chakras, it could be just pulling out old energy, just all kind of things. And what's interesting is like we really don't know the extent to what they are doing, and it's a part of me that's like, it's real easy to be skeptical, like what's going on. But the things that I'm feeling, the things that I'm seeing in meditation is confirmation. Like the coincidences that are happening is just whatever it is, the feeling of love and the feeling of peace, it is enough to make me keep doing this because it's just beautiful. So
it's beautiful. Well, and you said they're clearing your shot, like that. What do you call it? Activation.
Yeah.
Activation. The activation is clearing you out so that you can be activated.
Yeah. So the idea is that we have dormant DNA. It's like we have 26 strands or 12 strands. I don't know the number, but they say humanity only uses like 2 strands of their DNA. And so it's kind of activating these one at a time. Like it's like you're getting turned on. You're getting enlightened in a sense.
Wow. I want to do that. How do you find the light code?
Yeah, see, right. So that I have no idea. Like her story is pretty cool, and she would probably be a great addition to this podcast as well. But she just started receiving it, and so this is what's cool about it. Like me, I pay attention to words. I'm very analytical as well. There are certain patterns of light languages that she says in the beginning and the end that it's like she says it every time, but you can tell like this is not rehearsed. It's like you saying how you came on your podcast and started off. It's like you have that intro, and so yeah, there's that. But how I got involved in this is I initially met her and I did what do you call it? I guess a reading, like a spiritual reading, and she kind of revealed some stuff to me that was just like, okay, this is not a coincidence. This is true. This is real. I'll get into that in a second, but the reason I'm sharing this is I started going to a weekly meeting with her, and we all talk about these spiritual happenings that happen to us, any coincidences. And one day she started to do an activation for herself, but her guides, because she talks to our spirit guides, they said you should have some people do this along with you to make it easier. And she said, well, who in my circle should I reach out to? And it was me and two others. And so that's how we kind of got involved in this.
I got it. Doesn't sound crazy to me either, though. I can understand your human mind saying, "Oh goodness, is it really blah 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 blah?" But I've gone to healers where they talk, and like you say, they start off saying the same thing. Sometimes the angels will put me to sleep, like I'll be wide awake, and then on the way to her place, I'll start getting sleepy. And then when I get there and I lay on that table and she starts saying what she's saying with the crystal, and then I fall out, and then toward the end I wake up, but it's like it's not me being asleep. It's like they put me out and they did whatever, and now I'm like, so I get.
And you feel clear and have so much energy. You're like, wow, this is great.
Yes. Seems like a lot of our experiences that move us so much are the ones that give us a connection to where we came from. However it is, whether that's an orgasm, because that's as close as we can get to feeling that feeling without it. Okay, so go ahead, JClay. That was wonderful. Go ahead.
But what you said about an orgasm, that feeling I told you I had at the beginning, like all over my body, it was like that times 100, but it wasn't an orgasm. Like,
yep, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. I had my aunt and my uncle passed, and they came to visit me as angels, where I could see through them, but without going into the whole story, because it's not about me, it's about you right now. The feeling that I got in their presence was like an orgasm 150 times, and it was so good that I couldn't move. Like I was paralyzed, like balled up in the floor, and it was just it was amazing.
And even if you could move, it was like, why would I want to move?
Why would I want to move? Yes, exactly. Well, I wanted to move because I wanted my mother to feel what I was feeling. I wanted my aunt. I wanted to call everybody. See, that's my problem. I wanted to call everybody and say, look, Dear's here. Dear and Uncle Sonny, look what's happening. Feel this. The colors more vivid and full. Like everything was it's all in my book, A Branch with No Leaves on Amazon. Okay, so tell me something else. Jake.
So, okay, I'll tell you when I started kind of getting into this space. One of the books I follow is A Course in Miracles, and it's designed to get you to
Barnes told me about that. Go ahead. Yes.
It's to get you to recognize miracles, to perform miracles daily, to just be in that state of peace and remove all the blocks to love. So in that book, it's really like every line is a bar. It's like every line is the best bar in a rap you ever heard. And I knew that it was truth. And I started applying the principles. I started teaching it because even in the course, it talks about how teaching and learning are one. And if I truly want to learn something, I need to teach it. Yeah. And so as I was going through these lessons, I reached a point where for about a week, I just felt sad. I just felt down. I was just like, I don't know. I just felt low and I couldn't really explain it. And then like maybe 6 or 7 days later, gone, I was free. It was like the world was of a new color, but it was the same world. It was like everything was brighter. And what I took from that time was it was like I was mourning myself because I had finally understood I wasn't my past. I wasn't the traumas. I wasn't my struggles. I wasn't even the collectives that I belong to. Like sometimes you take on the struggles of the collective. As Black people, we might take on the Black struggle, but it's like, why take on any struggle at all? You don't have to. But when I realized I wasn't any of that, I mourned that because I put so much of it. I invested so much time and energy in upholding these things that I didn't really know who I was without them. But once I saw, it was like, wow, I'm free. Oh, I'm light. Everything was better.
Wow, that's powerful. Because I would often talk like in relationship, people are what they experienced growing up. And I would say that, so like experience, whatever it is, if it was like this feeling, me squeezing my arm, you're going to constantly look for somebody to make feel like that. And if you were abused or, made to feel really low and sorry and pitiful, that's what you're going to look for. And as you get older, you say, I don't want that anymore. So you pry that off. But this feeling is uncomfortable. So I love that you were able to actually mourn, because this could be a good person. This could be good experience. But
Yeah.
whatever it is, to let that go, for you to be able to mourn that, release it, and then embrace all of who you are today. I'm so proud of you. That's the
Thank you.
bomb.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still letting go of things. Like more things come up, but that was the significant
Well, you're still
piece.
here.
Yeah.
We're human.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it. I get it. That's beautiful. Mine is the reverse in a strange sort of way at the point in my life, because my audience already knows the majority of my life. I thought that I was an angel here to bless and heal the world. I
You are.
did, and I
Yeah.
thought that that I could talk to anybody. You know, they could be a deranged killer and I could soothe them. I thought that wherever I was on the planet, wherever I lived, if, and I still kind of think this, if I moved in this area, it's because this part of the earth needs tech. Now I still might think some of that, but so I've had a lifetime of experiences being put in my body, and because people kept telling me you need to be grounded, I didn't understand being put in my body, and I would always go for the good in every situation, but I was cheating myself by not seeing the other side of being a human being.
Yeah.
So I am learning how to feel and feel sad and angry. And I was riding down the road one day and I thought about somebody who has been really malicious, and I had been saying I can love him to himself. He needs prayer, blah blah blah. And I was riding down the road by myself and I said, he's a jerk. I said he was a jerk, and I was proud of me, because that's big for me to call
Yeah.
somebody a jerk. But anyway, go ahead, JClay. I love it.
No, I love that, and I'm glad you brought up that perspective, because so like we don't realize how much of a choice we actually have, and I've had a theory that people coming from above, like we all come from above in a sense, like we all come from that spiritual side where everything is happy, everything is joyful. That at one point being sad was just as joyful because you're like, wow, I got to experience being sad. And right, so like right now, there are a lot of people who had too much experience where they think that's just the way to be. But it's more like no, you have a choice. You can choose it if you choose it, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And yeah. So I love that you brought that.
And for me, like I try to allow myself to feel it, because one of my guests, Mama Luna, said that I have to feel it and release, otherwise it can be a block.
Yeah.
So I try to allow myself to feel it, and then I go back to what I do and find the good in it and keep it moving. I remember growing up, when something good would happen to someone, they would say, oh, God is good. But when something bad would happen, or quote unquote bad, then they'd be praying, why, God, why? But really, God is all of that, and it's all good.
Yeah.
So okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're speaking the same language. Like similar to that. I used to bring up the question because I never like when people would blame the devil or say the devil is trying to do something, because it's like, well, do you not trust God? You say you trust God, but you're giving this power to the devil. So I would ask people like, okay, do you think it's the devil doing something to you, or God teaching you a lesson, like showing you that you can easily overcome this thing as well? And people started to think, but that's part of it. Like if we really look at our what we believe and bring it to the light, we can see that we don't need to give truth to these illusions.
That's right. I've got an argument with preachers, because I would say I don't give credit to them. They explain why. I don't even like to say the name in my house. But I would end it with, if you believe that God is truly omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, if God is everywhere, evenly present, everywhere, how can there be any place where God not? That same voice that says turn left and has me prevent an accident is the same one that when I walk outside and the tree falls, it's all the same, and there's a blessing and the tree falling too. So that same guest, Mama Luna, she said, and this has stayed on me, she said, being a human being is divine. And when I really think about it, like your dream, imagining having that dream and then waking up and being in the dream, like being asleep and being in reality, feeling in my dream, seeing that my soul family sees all that I have experienced. They see it all. They see the traumas. They see the successes. They see everything. And when I come home, because I do make it home, even though I'm gone a long time, they cheer me on. We all wear white. We celebrate because we're all cleansed. And when they're taking the trauma away, it's not just me by myself. It's the families. It's everybody that was in all of these life experiences that I've had. All of them, our enemies come to heal us. Everybody is helping turn whatever that was for me into something beautiful. And then wake up with that memory and be able to exist in this world knowing that whatever this is that I'm experiencing that might not be great has come to pass. It will pass. Ah,
That was beautifully put. I love that. I love that. Yeah.
oh, JClay.
And to your point, I heard I'm not sure if you know who Bashari is, but I heard him say that once you experience a feeling, it's yours now to access whenever you want. And ever since then, I've been taking that love with me that I felt. That it still takes practice to remember to bring it with me. But again, like that unconditional, intense love was one of the greatest loves I ever felt ever. And just to know that I can always access that is just beautiful. It's yeah.
Oh, you got me so excited. There's so many things that you say that I'm like, ooh, ooh. Look. In a state of gratitude, it started at your crown. Fear is going to make it go away. Practice letting go. We dream, no fear. A Course in Miracles, every line is a bar. Teaching and learning are one. If I want to learn something, I need to teach it. Why take on any struggle? Didn't know who I was. Once you experience that feeling, wherever you are, whenever you need it, you can bring it back. All those things I'm gonna remember. Put them all in one song, JClay. If you no pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure. Y'all act like y'all didn't hear this part, what I'm getting ready to say. No pressure. But if you feel a theme song coming on for Heaven High Podcast, put it out there. No pressure.
I got you.
No pressure.
Yeah.
But all of that's beautiful. Okay, talk to me. Tell me. I'm excited about what you got next.
Yeah. So, right now I'm working on a few things. I'm still working on music. Well, before I talk about that, since I'm doing this activation, it's kind of like everything is on pause, but it's like it's a peaceful pause almost. Like it's like sometimes I'm not content to just stand still, and then sometimes I am when I'm tired and I just need a rest. I'm fine with that, but like I don't need a rest, but I have so much energy, but it's like I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm just like just lay back, chill. Don't try to create. Like just even though we're creating in every moment, but just I'm at a place where I can just peacefully be and feel and love. But to answer your question, I'm also working on it's like a YouTube series of I call it a story of life, and it's kind of a retelling of how we came into this physical world and just all the different stories that we don't think about, but that actually has a story. Like the sun has a story, the earth has a story, everything has aims that they're aiming for, and it's like tapping into that and telling the story from that perspective, just so it can help you in your own day to day as well.
I love you. I think you my soul brother. Wow. And what is that called? And where can my audience find it?
So yeah, it's not out yet. It's called A Story of Life. It's coming. So like I have the first episode complete. I've even previewed it to a couple organizations. They love it, and I have other scripts coming. But some written. But like I said, just because I'm in this peaceful place, I don't want to.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. And how long are you doing the activation?
I don't know. Like I like when she told us about it, I was all for it because I had just started saying a definite chief aim daily. Where 3 days later, when she came with that, I was like, "This is on par with this. This is so cool." But I thought it was going to be like a couple days in, but we've been going every day since maybe 2 weeks ago. So we're on our third week. Wow. We're on the third song, and there may be another. I don't know, but she's also recording these, and she's making a book out of it so that she can give these to others as well.
It might be 30 days.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Wow. you might have to come back on after, and
Yeah.
especially if it's like 30 days. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can't like and I meditate on a regular basis, but this it's just more intentional, and to have a group meditation, that's something that's new to me that I've never done before. And just the mixing of the energies, the no judgmental energies, and everybody's just heaven high. It's nice.
The light codes, that's got to be pretty powerful because like I know there's a patch that I use, X39, that heals with the light. Like we don't always think about how important or how powerful light and the codes that are in, like, let me slow down. There is life in everything, in a sound, in a note, in sunlight, in a breath of air. Everything is alive. Just because I can't see all that's going on right up in here doesn't mean it's not a lot going on. You know how people will show you what's on your nose, or the things that are alive on your body, or what you've been eating. Everything is alive. So I can imagine how powerful that is when I think about plants and the test that they did on the water. You remember the test where they just talked to the water?
Oh
They
yeah.
talked to the water, and it was the one that I'm thinking about right now. It was land. It was a city where the earth was kind of messed up and they couldn't drink the water. And there was like a little section that they dug up and let the nasty water from the earth come in. But they prayed over it and loved it and all this other kind of stuff. And then after, I think, 30 days, they could drink the water. You know what I'm talking
Yeah, I've heard something similar. I don't know that particular story, but yeah, I heard how it just purifies the water, and
about?
yeah,
Yes. So I can imagine. I just found out about crystal grids. Have you ever heard of crystal grids?
I have. I don't know a lot, but I've been finding out like it. Yeah, people that activate it, and it's yeah. But go ahead.
I don't know. A friend of mine sent me some information. I haven't had time to look at it, but I saw the pattern that you put it on, and the ancient geometric symbol, and you put
Yeah,
the crystals on there. It's all fascinating, but coming from a Pentecostal background, I can imagine the people who would be afraid, saying, "Oh, you doing something, something, something." When people throw salt over their shoulder, don't go under, don't break a pole, don't step on a crack.
So, so check this out. So like this was okay. So when I started getting more into spiritual and studying A Course in Miracles, this was around 2018. But back in like maybe 2012 or 2011, I started meditating. This was my first time ever. I was like, I'm gonna learn how to meditate. And at the time, I was doing martial arts, and there was this. It was an Indian family there that I knew they meditated on a regular basis. So I went to them. I said, "How do I meditate? What do I do?" They told me you just, sit like with your open hands, like you're receiving, and just try to clear your mind. Just, sit still, let whatever happen, happen. So I did it. I did it for like a few days. I saw something. So like what I saw, it looked like someone was facing me in the same position as me, but they were a little higher, and they had on it was like an ancient like gold head rest or something. I don't know, but it was cool. Like it was no threat, nothing like that. And I was excited. I was like, "Ooh, I saw something." So I went back and I told the Indian guy about it. And what he said, he was like, "Yes, now you're meditating, you're getting in deeper." Now he said, because you're experiencing other entities like this, darker entities might be drawn to you. And he said, but don't worry, like if that happens, just pray to whoever you pray to and they'll dissipate. Well, at the time, I hadn't cleared out fear. So I stopped meditating. I was like, nope, I'm done. I don't want to experience any kind of entities or anything like that. But that's just an example how like I could have been in this happy state a lot sooner had I not let fear stress me out or whatever. But now, like if something like that happens, it's a different perspective because I know how much light I am, and I can even show the dark figure how much light they are as well. And since they're no longer a dark figure, they're just like all of us. And yeah.
Ooh, you're a spiritual warrior. I love that. I love that in the middle of the meditation, you're like, I can even show them. I love that in your dream you were like, no fear. I love that you carry it. You really carry it. And that was even before the vision.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I love it. Yes. Oh, when you meditate, JClay, when you first started,
Yeah.
for any of my guests who have never meditated for, what would you suggest?
Yeah, what I would suggest is start with an amount of time. And it could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes. The reason I say that is because it's probably going to take 3 minutes or 4 minutes just to get to a place where your mind is still, because your mind is like, what am I doing sitting here? I could be doing this. And because you're taking that moment to sit still, you start getting ideas, which is what should happen when you're sitting still. But you want to act on them, and it's not the time for that. It's the time to really settle your mind, to get comfortable with that, with the silence, in a sense. And I know this might sound weird to people, but a lot of times I have no thoughts, and it's the most peaceful, beautiful thing ever. When back in the day, I always had some kind of thought. I was always thinking, I'm thinking this, thinking that, and I was never present in this moment. So I would say just really set a timer and stick to it, and just try to settle your mind. If you don't settle it, don't worry about it. You can try again the next time you meditate. And yeah, and if you have to follow a thought, just follow it to its end, and then just let it go. But just sit there at least for that allotted amount of time that you gave.
Wow, and let it go. I'm writing down a lot. You're teaching me so much. So when I first started meditating, every problem I had in the world came to my mind. And if truth be told, I'm probably not great at it in the sense of, like, I would love to be able to sit. But what I find works for me is to go and be quiet, listen to the waves, or to ride down the road with the windows down and nothing on. At night, I might listen a meditation video. It's like, I guess, what am I doing? Am I focusing on something, a tick, 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 oh, cars coming past, my child's breathing. I guess I'm focusing on something to clear out the nothing. But I would like to be able to just.
But okay, like you said, there are multiple ways to do it. So even washing dishes can be a meditation. Driving in traffic with no music can be a meditation, because, like you said, like you're in the moment. It's really just it's about being in the moment. And just from what I see of your Instagrams, you're a walking meditation. Like your joy, your energy is like you're in the now. And that's all that meditation is designed really to get you to, is just to be more in the now instead of the past or the future.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because I feel better in the moment. I feel much better because I know that in this moment, all is well.
Yes.
If I start, and sometimes I would think that if I think about the next moment, I'm getting in God's way, because oftentimes I can't see how whatever I need to happen is going to happen. So rather than focus on it and put a bunch of junk in it, I keep the junk out, stay here, and one step at a time.
Right, and that's like when we're in the future or the past, that's when we're letting fears and limitations come in. So like you said, like if we just go through life happy, we'll see miracles all the time. Like, wow, I didn't know this could happen. Wow, I can't believe this happened. But when we're trying to dictate how things should happen, we miss everything else around us, and we let limitations set in. Like, oh, I can't do this because if I do this, then this is going to happen. But we really don't know.
Yep. I'm older now, and so for me right now, it's just like I'm in the second quarter. I wanna do it all. Go for it. Seeing people, drop like they're doing, it's like I just want to scream to everybody, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. And I want everybody to see that it's all good. But Betty taught me, because I said, how can we help these people that are in their pain? And no, that's not our. She said she wouldn't take anything her journey, even though she is at this place. But I guess going through that journey blessed her to appreciate this moment more, to learn more, appreciate more, to open up, to stay focused, to stay on her plan. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we don't realize it, but we can do whatever we want to do, and we can thrive in whatever we want to do. But we stop ourselves by thinking, "Oh, this is too good to be true," or "I can't do it like this," or like we can stay in this and show people that, like, yes, how you see the world is perfect. Like, even though I don't see it the same way you do, I'm not supposed to. I want to see the world in my way. And when we just let each other be and just be that example by being our true selves, that's how we heal everyone.
Did y'all hear that? When we let each other. I'm hoping people will get that podcast. The people, my guests, all think so different. You know what I mean? Like they've all been really amazing, wonderful, loving, powerful, extraordinary people. And my whole prayer is that people will learn as much as I'm learning from y'all. But also that they will see that there is beauty in all of our differences. That JClay doesn't have to think like Tangie. When I learned this, I did a movie, Ringmaster, and the publicist was Catholic, and I grew up in a little white church, little white church, right? And so when we did publicity, we went to New York City, and I went to church with her, and she took me into the church was gigantic, and it had all these pictures on the wall, people that I didn't know, and there were candles all around. People were kneeling and praying, and I could feel the spirit. And I thought what I heard was, how dare I make all these people wrong so that what I learned as a little girl can be right.
Yeah, that's it. Like, yeah, and the reason too that we don't realize is because, again, we think we are how we see the world. Like, we don't think that there's a difference. We're like, no, this, it has to be this. If it's not this, I'm gonna die. My world crumbles. But no. Who are you without all of that? Like, if you had no history, who are you? If you started today,
Right.
like, yeah,
Right. Who are you if
Yeah.
you had no history? If I had no history, this is good.
yeah.
Okay, people, if you had no history, who would you be? JClay, we got time for maybe 2 more stories. You got one for
Okay,
me?
2 more stories. What stories can I tell? If you bring up a topic, maybe
Yeah, because
I
I want to
can.
hear any of your experience. I want to hear about Perfect Mode Now. You're a co-host.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, perfect mode is me. Yeah, me and my co-host Troy Washington. We talk about our perfection and recognizing the perfection of others. Like, we go from the standpoint that we're all perfect. There's nothing wrong with this. Isn't it? And even if there's something wrong, we wouldn't know, because we would have to know everything about everything. And there's no way we know everything about everything. So we're not accurate judges to say who is and who isn't perfect, not even ourselves. So if we are here right now, there's a purpose for us being here, which means we are perfect. We are in divine timing. We are, and all of that. And so from that viewpoint, we just talk about many subjects that plague humanity, that plague people from day to day. It might be about, choosing your aim in life, or how to settle differences, how to truly forgive, just anything that we go through on a day-to-day basis.
Go ahead.
So actually, I do have a good forgiveness story for you. So this was, I was heavy in the course, A Course in Miracles, doing the lessons, and it talks about, again, forgiveness and how nobody really does anything to you. It's a mirror, it's a reflection to you. So I'm playing basketball one day, and we're going at it. I love playing defense. I love to stop whoever's the biggest guy, that's the strongest or whatever, because I get to test my strength and have fun or whatever. So we're playing, but it got a little physical, and I think going for a rebound, I came down and my elbow might have hit this dude in the shoulder or head or something, and he has me by like maybe 4 to 6 inches. He's a tall guy. And so he came down and he's looking at me. He's ready to fight. And so in this moment, like, so much happened in this moment, so much. So I told you before, I did martial arts. I'm a black belt. So I'm not going to lie. My first thought was, all right, if I sweep him, he's going to fall, and then I'll be able to do what I need to do and end this quick. But then it's like, no, you're studying this. You said you want peace. So you have to choose peace. You're teaching people about choosing peace. So you have no choice but to see if this is the path or not. Like, if it's truly the path, all will be well. If it's not, it's not going to be. So in that moment, I looked up at him, and I released everything, and I mustered up all the love I could. And I just looked at him with all the love that I possibly could at that moment. And instantly he said, you know what? I'm getting too serious. I'm going to check myself out of the game. And yes, we've been cool ever since. I mean, we still get physical, but it's never serious. And I couldn't believe how quickly everything shifted. Like, the energy went from we were going to fight to nothing at all, nothing but peace. And since then, I've been able to apply that in just other situations where, forget it, I'm going to concede. I'm going to just let go and give all the love I can. And it always instantly turned things around.
Wow. I love that. Let go, give all the love I can. You know what I'm going to do today after we finish? I'm going to do the JClay. Call it the JClay. And it's going to be, find situations in my life where I can give all the love I can. Like, I give love all the time, but I'm specifically talking about things that could annoy me, irritate me, upset me. I do that though, I guess. But I like how you say it. It sounds different when you say it. When I imagine you in the middle of a, and let me see your giving all the love you can face.
It was okay.
Okay, let me
It
see.
was just like it was like I just let go and I was just it. Okay, this is how it felt. Like a part of me was like, I have no guard up. If he hits me, I'm out. I'm out. So it was really was a complete letting go. I was at the mercy of the moment, and
That's
I was
good.
it was like I was being held up in a sense because I let go completely, and just how it changed was amazing. But to what you just said, I had a thought about this. So we always hear people saying get out of the get out of your mind and go into your heart space. And so I was like, yeah, I hear that all the time, but what does that really mean? And so with our mind, we think. With our heart, we love. So I was like, when I believe I'm struggling, I usually try to think my way out of it. But what if I said, what do I love about this situation? And I just started doing this, so I don't have the experience with this yet. But like what you were just saying about applying this, like what do you love about these situations that quote unquote annoy you?
I got it. You just help me because I'm not one that normally gets annoyed. I love in those situations where I need to. When you said get out of your head and get out of your heart, I when I'm vulnerable where I can get hurt is what can be very scary. Like I can like you and you like I don't know about Tangie. I don't know, man. I can like you. I can love you, love you, love you. And then once you stop and say, I love you too, Tangie. Then I'm scared, It's like, because now I can get hurt. Because now I'm like, putting my heart out, and then you can turn away. But
Yeah.
if you're already turned away, then I can't get hurt.
Well, okay, because when you said it back, I thought you might have made a mistake. I was saying get into the heart space. So okay,
So the hard space for me would be is okay, you're running and I'm like, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Then you stop and turn, love you, Tangie. Then I get scared.
yeah.
Instead of getting scared and being vulnerable. And I've been working on this, staying open, breathing through those fears and different things. And I know where it comes from childhood. I can, that vulnerable place that where little Tangie can get hurt, I can put love in my heart into that.
And question for you. So I know at least from a typical man's point of view, that can be scary too. But the reasons could be because of what we think that means. It's like okay, that means I have to be in this relationship, then I have to maybe get married, and I have to like. It's like we go to the future instead of staying now. And I guess the question is, does that happen to you too in that situation?
Yes, and for me, as a little girl, my mother was married to my daddy Ambrose. He was in the military, so he left a lot. But he loved me, really loved me. But he was gone a lot. And when I was about 5, I guess it was, he and my mother split up. And then he just disappeared. Like he would leave and come back, leave and come back, leave and come back, and then he was just gone. And then when I was about 6, she came to me crying, saying, Tangie, I got something to tell you, and you can't tell nobody. And I'm like, well, then she just cried. She said, Tangie, your daddy is not your daddy. And she said, she cried and I cried, but I knew I was crying just because she was crying. So then when I was about 6, I found out that my daddy Ambrose wasn't my dad, my birth father. And then I was able to find out who these people were that we went to go see every summer. Find out that those people, not who they were, but that they were really my aunt and my uncles and my grandfather and all. But then by that time, my birth father, who loved my mother, they loved each other, but they were Pentecostal. So my mother couldn't leave my daddy Ambrose to marry the man she loved. It's a long story. But by that time, my daddy was married. So, and his wife wasn't too excited about my mother because they loved each other.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of years still feeling that special, I am loved by my dad. I knew he loved me, but he wasn't. Look, you see my eyes tearing up, right?
Yeah.
You see that kind of tearing up. So I think, and it's, I could write a book about that whole story. But I think it's something about, and guess what? Now, my mother has passed. My daddy Ambrose has passed. My daddy, birth father, is who's left, and he has been in my life since he got a divorce, and that was when I graduated from college. And he has been, I love him, my daddy, and every way possible. That and I feel like I'm learning from him how to not be afraid, because there was a time when I was afraid that he would go away or that he wouldn't like me, stuff that I shouldn't have. I'm like, what you but I think that's what comes up, that early childhood thing. And so I'm not in the present moment. I go back to that, whatever, I don't even know which moment I go back to. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I don't know if it's, I don't know what, but now it's there.
Yeah, and to that, like love is without limits. Like love is all encompassing, but the way society is set up, love is only special and limited to a select few. So like whenever you find two people that love each other with the same kind of love, we start putting other things in on it, like things that shouldn't be brought to this all encompassing thing, and it messes up the moment where it's like this is for us now. It may be for this now might extend for hundreds of years. It might
Oh, it
not,
might
but
last for 2 weeks.
yeah,
Oh, that's good, JClay. That's good. That's good. That's so interesting too, because I don't even dream about being with somebody for the rest of my life. So why would I? So what is it?
yeah. It's some construct that we brought up. I mean, like I'm married, right? And if I try to think about all the years that me and my wife would stay together, I would get scared. Like, no, that's too long to know somebody and be next to somebody. But as long as I stay in this moment, it's
Day
all
by
perfect.
day.
Yeah.
I like the way you speak. It's all very poetic. Love is
Thank you.
without limits. Get out of your mind. Get out of your heart space. You could write a book of quotes.
I have a few quotes on my website, jclay.org. But yeah,
jclay.org. So tell my people, well, first, end on a positive note. Tell us one more thing, since I'm over here being a wuss. Tangie's being a wuss. Should I
nah, you
cut
good.
this out, y'all? Should I cut this part out?
No,
You think I
you,
should keep it in?
you're letting go of that, just
Oh,
whatever that is, so you can be more happy, more
yes,
peaceful. Yeah,
that's part. Oh, that was good, because that's the whole human thing.
yeah,
Yes, I just had a divine human experience.
yes,
That's all that we've been talking about. And it's good.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm crying.
yeah.
I'm going to work on some more things. Huh. Okay. JClay, please tell my audience all of the amazing places they can find you, where they can hear your music, read your books, see your pictures,
Yeah.
hear more testimonies. Go.
Yeah, if you visit jclay.org, jclay.org, it has everything. It has links to my social media. I'm jclay first on social media, jclay1st. But if you just type jclay, I'll come right up on everything. My music is on all streaming platforms. Everything from 2018 on is very positive, very loved, filled. I didn't want to remove some of the old music that was there just because I wanted to let people, see the progression that we all have, and not feel that once you change, you have to delete your past or hide from your past. So I
Because
left
it's
I left
all
all that stuff
good,
there.
right? It's
Yeah,
all good.
yeah.
Like what
It,
we talked about. It's all good.
right. And not only that, like no matter where you are, you're equipped to help so many people. Like you're gonna keep evolving, and that doesn't negate where you were when you're at a higher place. But like where you are, where everyone is now, like they are equipped to help so many people, including themselves, and just to not ever be what's the word, like embarrassed about anything that happened, because it's all a part of the journey.
Okay. I got to write all that down. Everyone is equipped to help someone. It's all a part of the journey. Oh, well, you know what, JClay? You haven't had a near death experience, but you've had a lot of amazing experiences, and you blessed me today.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for coming on. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. I see you being this wise sage. Maybe you'll come back after the activation is complete. We can see you glowing, and you can tell us, whatever it is that you've learned. If you want to
Yeah.
share, yeah, we would love that. You can come on and share the song that you write after you come out. It's just thank you. Thank you.
I would love that, and
I'm so
thank
happy
you for having me as well. Yeah.
you on. You've been an absolute joy, y'all. Heaven high, everybody. Thank you.
Heaven high.